Hello there guys, it's Joey and this is a spell for the Ogham Ash in the waxing, growing moon cycle. And I was musing over which to actually do, but given the correspondences of late, given the energies of late, and given my particular musings over the card which is in front of you, which is the 10 of Pentacles from the Wild Unknown deck, I decided to go with this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about musing about that particular tarot card first. And it's interesting because somebody had actually sort of asked me about how my journey with the Wild Unknown had progressed and changed. And initially I didn't think I would be able to include much of that in the current videos because obviously we are focusing around the Ogham. But the Wild Unknown Tarot speaks to me. It's one of two decks, the other one being the Marielle, that really, really, truly speak to me in all sorts of incredible ways. And I was actually musing and connecting over the card yesterday as part of a reading, and I was getting very, very strong visions of looking at pennies through water. So you can see where we're going with the spell work probably. But we will zoom in on the card first just so you can see it. And hopefully you can see, you might not be able to see very well. If I zoom in a little bit more, right, how close can we get? Right, good. So you can hopefully see that the 10th pentacle is actually within this pentacle here. Okay, and then we'll zoom out. So I was actually sitting with this card, and the more and more I was thinking about it, the more and more I was thinking it's that it looked like pennies in a well, and it was throwing me images of people throwing pennies into a wishing well to put their hopes and dreams into a physical wish and place the pennies in the water as a act of manifestation. It's a form of magic, it's a simple form of spell work that a lot of people engage in, and the practice ties back to a lot of different cultures, but one of the cultures in which it ties back is Celtic, where offerings to the gods were placed in water because water was believed to be the conduit between this world and the next. So prayers and offerings and thanks were given to the gods via wells, rivers, lakes, and so on and so forth. And a lot of the Celtic myths and Christianized versions of Celtic myths, such as King Arthur myths, have bodies of water and mystical objects being tied to bodies of water in that respect. So I was looking at this card, and that's what I was seeing. Either a bowl, like a rainbow bowl, or a rainbow well, and pennies in it, and people throwing their coins in, and that being a physical act towards manifesting what they wanted in this life, putting their hopes and thoughts into the penny, and the physical act of throwing the penny into the well. Additionally, the sort of swirling vortex of rainbow colours reminds me very much of the spirals of life, as well as the spiral of energy moving through our chakras, and therefore the colour change, the rainbow energy going through, and that being symbolic of how energy from the divine can move through us, and that being to do with manifestation once again, that the seed, the very, very centre, is within, and everything around us in the universe comes from our action. So I really sat and thought and felt with this card, and it's one of the cards that I actually had more trouble with originally, because some of the suit cards in the Wild Unknown are a little bit seemingly simplistic on the surface, and you actually have to really sit and feel it out and then think it out and pull all those threads together. So what I actually was thinking about is how well this would then work for some manifestation work on a simplified form, with tying it into those energies of the Ogham Ash. And the Ogham Ash is tied to the energy which connects all things. It's the tree of life, Yggdrasil in the Nordic pantheon, the energy that binds us to deity, to one another, the interconnectedness of all things. And I was thinking how relevant it was to this particular card, those spirals of energy manifesting and touching everything, from those seeds of belief, those seeds of beginning. And seeds have been very prevalent in the beginnings of this Ogham series, as well as actual ash seeds or keys, as there's some bark in here as well. And so what I actually put together for a reasonably simple idea, but I really like the far-reaching symbolism of it, is our own form of wishing well and manifestation. So we have a little bowl full of water, and we have the card which inspired it. We have 2 azurite on either side of the card. So azurite is one of the crystals that I've been using a little bit more lately. I really like it. I think it's a beautiful crystal. It's also connected to insight, vision, intuition, the third eye in particular. It is used to strengthen the astral and etheric bodies, making one less vulnerable to psychic attack or psychic attachments. It can be used to seal holes in the aura, stimulates all the mind centers, nourishing within. I'm just trying to quickly give you an overall feeling. Opens the third eye, opens the crown, stimulates psychic powers, assists in past life recall, and brings an increased sense of connection to the divine. It helps you to sense the truth in a situation. It helps psychics and other intuitives improve the accuracy of their interpretations. It can lend the courage to help you correct negative patterns within yourself. The affirmation given in the Book of Stones for azurite: I open my mind to new vision, both inner and outer, as I expand my awareness. And that to me is very much about sensing the interconnectedness to all things. The cycles, if you like. So then in my little bowl of water, I have 2 coins which are recent additions. And if you watched the other video, you already know about them. So there is the Old English 3p and a Irish pound with a stag on. I really liked having both of these for this wishing spell because it's gold and silver, so that represents the gold element of the solar energy of ash, which we've talked about in the correspondence video, as well as the lunar silver energy of ash, which again is because ash represents both lunar and solar, because it's the interconnectedness of all things. So this being the waxing phase of the moon, it means things are growing. So we're taking the idea of a seed of something, and you're placing the 2 coins in, and you can see this in one of 2 ways. You can see it as placing your wishes in the water, or placing a coin for each aspect of deity in offering back to deity, and then you're going to place ash keys or ash bark in the water for your wish. Now, if you don't have ash keys and you're thinking, you know, I can't get hold of that, then some sort of seed. It might be worth having a look at the correspondences what seeds are in line with solar energy, or what seeds are in line with lunar energy, and then sort of tailoring your wish to which energy you decide to proceed with, unless you can get one of each, which would be lovely for the idea behind the spell. So with ash keys, they're reasonably large and reasonably flat, depending on which particular key. You could write your little wish, or a symbol of your little wish, on here, and you may want to take 3. And you would write on them or place them in your hand, and it's 1 for each cycle: life, death and rebirth. Maiden, Mother, Crone, Warrior, Father, Sage. Got it, I got the male one right. Yes. I always want to say Father first for some reason. Father, Warrior, Sage, I'm not sure why. And you hold it in your hand, and you basically are focusing your intent. You're filling these little keys with your wish. You are imagining them glowing a nice bright white, whilst you visualise in your mind the outcome you are looking for from your wish. And then out loud you want to say something along the lines of, I'll make it up on the spot, but this is giving you an idea. To the energies of the Ogham Noon, to the Maiden Mother Crone of the goddess, to the Warrior Father Sage of the god, to the all-binding cycles of life, death and rebirth, I give these keys in offering, placing them in water, connecting to the great cycles of life. Please bring my wishes to fruition. In the sight of all the gods, so mote it be. And there you go. So that's a nice simple manifestation spell, a wish spell, based around the energies of this Ogham and the card and seeds and growth. Many blessings.